People were replacing teeth thousands of years ago, and we kind of think of implants as modern. These things that we use to replace teeth, but actually they've been around for thousands of years. And we've got evidence that shows that in ancient China there are records of these little bamboo pegs being tapped into the jawbone, which stand for teeth, and even in ancient Egypt, trying in these little metal pegs to transplant teeth. But the really, really interesting find was this one about this Mayan civilization, so going back to the 7th or 8th century. And what's really fascinating is these archaeologists found this little piece of Mayan jawbone. So this little fragment of jawbone, mandible, it was discovered. This little fragment of jawbone was discovered by Wilson Papineau and his wife during some research on the Mayan civilization in Honduras. There were other excavations going on. And fascinatingly, with this little piece of jawbone is what they originally had thought, that these little bits of shell had been tapped in after the person had died, possibly to make it a little bit more cosmetic and make the corpse, if you like, look a little bit more aesthetic. And the jawbone disappeared for a while. And then it was rediscovered. It was rediscovered by this dentist. And it was an Italian dentist called Amedeo Bobbio. And when he was examining this jawbone, he actually noticed that the cells were fused. So the bone cells were fused to the little bits of shell or the coral. And what that means is that actually this person was alive, because that bone was growing. And that bone has grown into these little bits of shell. I'm not sure what kind of anesthetic they would have had in those days, but probably would have been a little bit of an uncomfortable procedure, unlike today. And there's lots of evolution about dental implants. It's in gold-banded bridges over 2,500 years ago. Lots of bling. And then we get to sort of like the 1913 times, and we've got this iridio-platinum lattice root, Italium screws, which were biocompatible, so they weren't being rejected. They're not being rejected by the body. And then we come all the way, kind of what we call the modern implants, back to the 1950s, and Brannemark and titanium, and we're understanding how that locks in, and we get this osseointegration. And sort of the first patient back in 1965 had these 4 titanium implants placed. Lots of research going into the implants, and we're able to replace teeth with these titanium implants and other materials as well. So it's still ongoing, still evolving, still adapting, still finding new science. Absolutely fascinating how we can replace these teeth. But it's been going on for thousands of years, a lot longer than we actually realised.